Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulihil Kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers. Inshallah ta'ala, today we will do our regular series of journey through Quran. Last few weeks, as you have seen that we have done some small surah, the short surahs of the Quran, and we try to understand the meaning of it. Because we said we are not going into the longer surah because the Ramadan is coming, and we have only 2 weeks, to this week and the next week, inshallah ta'ala. Week after that we'll have Ramadan, and during the Ramadan time we probably won't continue this talk. So today I realized that because Ramadan is approaching so quickly, and every one of us are busy about the Ramadan, even in our household, in our masjid, in our daily life, in our work life. We are all planning and thinking then how we can inshallah ta'ala enter into this blessed month and enjoy the month and get hasana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as possible. So upon deciding that, I thought today we should talk about something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say about Ramadan in the Quran. So we'll talk about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned Ramadan in the Quran, and inshallah ta'ala we'll go through some of the ayah that Allah mentioned this month, and what are the things that Allah expects from us. Now, usually my talks are 15 minutes to 20 minutes, so I apologize before it may be a little bit longer today. And this talk will be a two-part talk. So we'll talk about some ayah today and some ayah inshallah ta'ala next week. The reason for that, this is one of the pillars of Islam. As you all know, fasting in the month of Ramadan is a pillar of Islam. And also that this is the only time the whole ummah around the world get busy. They do ibadah. Even people who doesn't come to masjid regularly, even people who doesn't sometimes come to Jummah, they're not regular in Jummah, but they celebrate this month. They fast in this month. Whole ummah has a change in this month. And it's not like even Hajj. Hajj time is busy. Millions of people in the Hajj, but it's only busy in Makkah. But in the Ramadan, whole world is busy with the the ibadah in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to their own sincerity, according to their own intention. So we must see that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described this month, this fasting in the Quran. How many places Allah talk about this one? Is there any extra special ayah that Allah mentioned about this one? Which surah are talking about the Ramadan and the month of Ramadan? As a Muslim, we all should know that, and at least we should have grasped this idea that okay, this is the month that we are doing. Everybody is enjoying. Everybody is trying to get as much reward as possible. So let's see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say. We should have it set it up in our mind. So first thing we should know that where in the Quran Allah talk about this Ramadan, and it is very obvious that and we talked about it. This is in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 183 to 187. So today I'll talk about ayah number 183 to 185, only 3 ayahs, and then inshallah ta'ala next week Saturday we'll talk about the other few ayahs. And then we should also know why Allah placed this ayah here. And interestingly, there's no other place in the Quran Allah talk about fasting. Yes, there is some surah that talk about fasting for as a kafara, not fasting in the Ramadan. So this such a big event, a pillar of Islam, Allah only talks about in this 4 or 5 ayah. That's it. And in this few ayah, Allah puts so much wisdom and so much things in this few ayah about the month of Ramadan, the blessings of Ramadan, that you will be amazed to see that how the language is being put through by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as I said, this is in Surah Al-Baqarah, almost just after the middle of Surah Al-Baqarah. So we need a quick background to check why Allah choose this place to do this one. As you all know that Islam has a different name also. In the Quran Allah said Islam is millati Ibrahim abikum. This is the religion of your father Ibrahim. It's all started from Ibrahim alayhi salam. So I'll very quickly go through the history. What is Ibrahim alayhi salam? He is a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the Khalil of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He had 2 sons, as you all know, Ismail and Yaqub, right? Ismail and Ishaq. And from these 2 sons, every prophet came later on basically. From the Ishaq side, we know the next son of the Ishaq is Yaqub. So the grandfather is Ibrahim alayhi salam, his son is Ishaq, his son is Yaqub. And Yaqub has 12 sons. One of the son is Yusuf alayhi salam. And also we know from the other hadith narration that even the brothers of Yusuf, when Allah forgive them, Yusuf ﷺ forgive them, and later on they also become prophet, and that's why it become 12 tribes. And Rasulullah in another hadith said, in Bani Israel, who is Israel? Yaqub, other name is Israel. So all the children of Israel, every generation they had a prophet. One prophet dies, another prophet comes. Every generation. From the other side of the Ibrahim side, which is Ismail, who is the son of Ismail? We don't know. Who is his son? We don't know. Long time, there is no prophet in this line. So only that line is coming prophet after prophet. But in the Ismail line, there is no prophet until Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, and Allah give them prophet after prophet. When you get something very often, you don't have the value. If you get biryani every day in the masjid, you don't care about this anymore. You don't feel taste about this, right? The same thing happened with the Bani Israel. They have prophet after prophet every generation, and slowly but surely, they think, okay, no, we don't need to listen all prophet. So they start disrespecting the prophet, and so far so they have started killing the prophets. And Allah mentioned in the Quran that they kill so many prophets, okay, because they don't just like what is the prophet's message, okay. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided, He's gonna send them the last prophet of the Bani Israel tribe, and that was Isa alayhi salam. In the books of Isa alayhi salam and in the books of the Musa, Allah mentioned there that there is another prophet coming, so wait for him. So after Isa, 6 centuries went by, no prophet is coming, and the people of Bani Israel, they're eagerly waiting, there's a prophet is coming. Like in our times, we always try to find the signs of the Qiyamah, right? When you see this, this is one of the signs of the Qiyamah. Rasulullah mentioned that the Arab land will have tall buildings. We see this now, right? That these Bedouin people will be competing for the world to making the big buildings. And this is a sign of the Qiyamah. We see so many other signs, and we feel excited. Maybe this is the sign of the Dajjal. This is it. Just like this, Bani Israel was waiting. Where is the sign of our last prophet? And Bani Israel, the group of the Jewish who used to live in Medina, the Arab land, sometimes they used to fight with other tribes. And sometimes they used to lose in the fight. And whenever they lose, they used to say to the other, wait, our prophet is coming. Once he's come, he's going to make us free, and then we'll fight with each other. And he will give us the right guidance. So they all used to boast about that. And finally that prophet came, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But they didn't accept him. Because everything is okay, because he is not from the Ishaq side, he is from the Ismail side. Anyway, the long story short, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided that that's it. You have disobeyed everything. I have given you prophet after prophet, and the final prophet is also come to you, giving you the message, and you denied him. So no more, no more, you are not the best nation anymore. I'm going to create a new nation. And that new nation is كَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. And I'm going to make this new nation, the follower of the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the new nation. And that time Allah give them a new capital. Every new nation has a new capital. And the capital became the Makkah, from Jerusalem to Makkah. And they start praying to the Makkah. And during that time, as you mentioned, this month of Shaban, a lot of scholars say, a lot of historians say, this is the month of Shaban when the Qibla change was happened. And just after a few days after that, not only the Qibla change happened, not only the new capital, Allah give this the ruling of the Ramadan. Because we'll see from the Quran, there is a fasting for them also. That was a different type of fasting. They used to fast only 3 days. Now Allah give a new nation, a new month, a new fasting rules. And that's why Allah placed this ayah just after mentioning the history of Bani Israel. Then Allah mentioned the history of the Ibrahim alayhi salam, how he made the dua when he was building the Kaaba. Oh Allah, with Ismail, he made a dua. Oh Allah, this is my nation. Make this city a peaceful city, and send among them a Rasul who will guide them. And he asked for one Rasul. In his dua also, it's a singular noun. He said, send one Rasul in these people who will guide them, who will show your signs. And Allah accepted the dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam during the month of Ramadan. So let's look at the ayah. The first ayah number 183. It says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyamu kama kutiba alal ladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. And you have heard this ayah so many times, and you will hear this ayah again and again during the month of Ramadan from different lecture, YouTube, your sheikh, our sheikh, so everybody will tell, because this is the starting of this thing. So Allah is saying, look, I have given you fasting just like it was decreed upon the before nation. So it is just like the same fasting as the before. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. So one thing you must see here, the fasting before Ramadan. This fasting rule is not about talking about Ramadan. This is fasting similar to the people of the Bani Israel. This is the fasting. And from these few ayahs, we will know the purpose of fasting and the purpose of Ramadan is two different things. I say it again, purpose of fasting is different and the purpose of Ramadan is different. The purpose of fasting, Allah mentioned here, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you can attain taqwa, so that you can gain taqwa. And also, Allah word they use, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ السِّيَامِ. There's another word for fasting, Saum. Saum and Siyam. It's very similar, the root word is same, but Allah used the Saum in other places also, in the Quran. Like when Maryam a.s. gave birth to Isa a.s., just after he gave birth to Isa a.s., Allah said, make fast, make Swam. And she did Swam. What is the difference between Siyam and Swam? Before, when they used to fast, they don't used to drink, they don't used to eat, there's no intimacy with your spouse, also they couldn't speak. That special Psalm actually, they couldn't speak. They are not allowed to speak to anyone. They have to speak in the Ishara. But in our time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it a little bit easier. We cannot drink, we cannot eat, we cannot have intimacy with our spouse, but we can still, talk, and we can, even if you're fasting and by mistake you got angry, you say something bad word to something, your fasting is not invalid. Yes, probably you don't get the full reward of the of the day of the fasting, but it is still valid. So it's not like that before. So that is the difference between Siyam and Swam in this ayah. So Allah already indicating that this is something different kind will coming up soon. Then Allah said la'allakum. La'allakum means basically hopefully. So Allah is saying whoever this is the month of this is fasting just like the fasting of before, so that, and I hope that you will attain taqwa. So it doesn't mean basically that people who are fasting they'll all get taqwa. People who are fasting, Allah is hoping that if you do fast properly and sincerely, then you will get taqwa. And the last thing, the taqwa word, you all know the meaning of taqwa. I'm not going to go deep into that. Taqwa basically means you want to protect yourself from the to unpleasant, to upset Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You take some protection. So some people, most of the translations say fear of Allah. It's not the right thing, because if there is a snake here, we fear. But that fear is not the same as we fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a different type of fear. Fear of Allah, but taqwa means that you are taking some precaution, some protection, so that you are in good books with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know that I have to fast, so you're changing your office time or something. I have to fast this month. I have to change something. So this protection, this planning that you're doing, that is taqwa. When you fast, your thirst is thirsty, right? Your throat is asking you, I need water, I need water. Your stomach is making noise. During the afternoon you say, okay, I need food. But your heart is saying, no, stop, don't do it now. I will wait till the Maghrib. This something that's coming from your heart and telling to stop it, that is the thing called taqwa, basically, as simple language. Now let's go to the next ayah. Next ayah is a bit longer ayah, is about the rulings of the fasting before. I'm just going to quickly go through this translation. Allah is saying ayyaman ma'dudat. So Allah is saying for them fasting was basically for 3 days. Previously the fasting was for 3 days, basically, the middle 3 days of the month. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to fast those days before Ramadan, exactly the same. They used to fast in the month of Ashura. Rasulullah used to fast in the same Muharram in the time of Ashura. He used to fast the same thing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, if you miss one of these fast, only 3 days fast, if you miss one of them, you have 2 ways to make it up. Either you make it up in another day, or you feed some food to the poor people. That is the ruling of the before. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you take the first option, which is make it up, so you miss one of the 3 days, you make it up, that is better for you. But you can still also, you have the second option open, you can give food to the other people. So here, just remember, 3 days only fasting, and if you miss, you have 2 options to fill it up. Let's see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about the fasting of Ramadan in the next ayah. And this is the ayah I'm going to talk about. It's a longer ayah. And I'll break through the ayah slowly so that you can understand. The first thing Allah said in this ayah, in ayah 185, شَهْرُ رَمَضَانَ الَّذِي أُنزِلَ فِيهِ الْقُرْآنِ. Allah didn't talk about fasting. First thing Allah talked about the Shahru Ramadan is about the Quran. This is the month I sent down the Quran. The month of Quran is the Quran was sent down. And in the Quran, how many months in the Arabic calendar, brothers? Only 12 months, yes. And only 1 month is mentioned in the Quran by name, that is Ramadan. Nowhere else Allah mentioned any other month. The Muharram word is mentioned, but not as a month. It's just a word for that's to make something haram. So the month of Ramadan, Allah saying that the Quran was sent down. And also, look here, the translation also Allah saying, Quran is sent down. Allah didn't say, Allah sent down the Quran. And the scholar said, by taking this is a passive form. You know, in young age, we did the active voice, passive voice, right? This is a Quran was sent down. Obviously, you have the question in mind, who sent down the Quran? And Allah is saying, Allah took His name out so that you focus more in the Quran, not who sent it. You will find it, who will send it later on. But first focus on the Quran, and this is the month when Allah sent it. And if you think why this month is so blessed, that this month is the month a new nation get a new thing. And the dua of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam is accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Basically, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam became a prophet and a Rasul during this month. This is the time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. And the whole picture of the ummah has been changed. The new Rasul has been come and everything has been changed. And the whole story of the world is changed. As you can say, then from now on till the day of judgment, this will be our Rasul and this is the one we're going to follow his sunnah and everything. And that's why Allah mentioned the topic of the Quran here. Then Allah says, Hudan linnas or bayyinati min al-huda wal furqan. So Allah talked about three things of the Quran. So Allah said, Ramadan is the month I send the Quran. What is Quran? Hudan linnas. It is a guidance for humanity, clear proof from the guidance and ultimate separator, the furqan. So obviously guidance you understand, Quran is the guidance. And Allah says, guidance for the people. Remember in the Surah Al-Baqarah first ayah, Alif Lam Mim Zalikal Kitabu La Raiba Fi Hudal Lil Muttaqin. But here Allah says Hudal Lil Nas. So over there Allah said Muttaqin, this is the guidance for Muttaqi. Here Allah says this is the guidance for Nas, all the humanity. Why is that? Because over there Allah says Zalikal Kitabu La Raiba Fi. So the people who are Muttaqi, they don't have any doubt about this book. They completely believe everything in the book. Here Allah is saying this is a guidance for the people who are not even in Islam. Come to Islam and then you will be attain taqwa in this month by fasting and then you will be a muttaqi and then you will have no doubt about this book. So that is Allah means here the guidance of the humanity. Another thing is that this is the month we should talk about Islam to the other people. Because this is the month, shaitan has been chained down. This month has so many blessings. This is the best month to give dawah. Usually all the masjid around the world get busy with the musalli at that time. They try to facilitate the people for tarawih, for iftar, for qiyamul layl, all these things. But we should keep in mind that this is the time we should talk about this guidance to the humanity. That's why Allah mentioned the humanity here. And then Allah said, clear proof from the guidance. What does this mean? Clear proof from the guidance. This means basically, all the other prophets before, they all had miracles. Most of them, right? Musa alayhi salam has a lot of miracles. His staff, his hand, he put the staff in the sea and the sea become apart. All these miracles. Isa alayhi salam, same thing. He used to fix, cure the blind. He used to bring the dead people from the life, dead people from the dead to the life. He used to make a clay bird and blow it and the bird flying. All these miracles are with all the prophets. But all these miracles, if you imagine, these are the miracles for the eyes. We believe in these miracles because it's in the Quran, it's in the Sunnah, but we didn't see that. It's just a story for us. The same thing with those people too. The people who saw those miracles, it's a different thing for them. But after that, it's been changed. It is the miracle for eye. And also those prophets also message. They had the book, right? Torah and the Injil and the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they have something for the eyes and something for the ear. But for us, Allah changed this one. Allah give the Quran in such a way that this is for the hearing only, and also the miracle is inside this one. So every time you read Quran, until the day of judgment, someone will find something. It's not going to be vanished. This is the same Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed with the same miracles and everything. And that is subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioning that this is a guidance. In the guidance is a self-evident proof. It is a miracle by itself. That's what Allah mentioning here. And then Allah said Al-Furqan. So the one that is with guidance, and the Furqan means the one that will separate the true and the false. So obviously that is the main thing. Then Allah says, "Faman shahida minkum shahra falyasum," meaning whoever witnessed this month, fast. Then Allah talking about fast. Allah is saying witnessing month. How do you witness a month? Witness basically means that you're in a court or you saw something. Someone is asking, brother, are you there present? What happened? Did you see that? Did you hear that? And even the more strong witness is that whenever you see something with your eyes. If someone says, yes, I heard two brothers were talking, they're fighting. That's a witness too, but that is not a strong evidence because you don't know who's talking at what time. But if you see something, that is a proof. How can you see a month? How can you witness a month? How do you see Ramadan? But Allah said the witness here because witness means that you realize that this month, the activity of this month will be a witness for you in the day of judgment. Activities, the blessings of this month is a witness that you are one of the chosen people. You are from the Ummah of Rasulullah. So that's why Allah is saying, you witness this, you realize this, and keep your eyes open in this month. One of the scholars says, keep your eyes open for the witness. Meaning, you stay more awake. You put in your sleep less. Try to get more hasana, try to get more, ibadah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month. That's why Allah said the witness here. The next thing Allah said, Oman kana maridan ala safari. So Allah giving us the option now. Remember, over there we had 3-day fast. Here it is 30-day fast. Is it easy or difficult? Difficult, obviously. Over there we had 2 options. That if you miss a fast, you can make it up, or you can give some food to the poor. But here Allah said, if you miss the fasting in the Ramadan, you must make it up. More days of fasting and only one option. So it become more harder. But look at the next line. Allah saying, yuridullahu bikum yusr, wa la yuridu bikum usr. Allah saying that, Allah wants ease because of you. In most of the translation it said, Allah wants ease for you. And Allah doesn't want difficulties for you. But it's not for, it's a bikum. And Allah wants ease because of you. Allah wants ease, difficult. Allah doesn't want difficulty because of you. Meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, just like the training, if you think of an army training, a police academy training, those people go through a hard time training. If you bring one of these army people and say, okay, brother, let's go with me training in my gym in the morning. Because the gym is a piece of cake for me. I already have so much hard training, it's not a problem. Allah made the Ramadan so hard for us. The options are less. And Allah is saying that, I want ease for you in the rest of the 11th of the month. Once you have, in this month, you got the train, properly trained, inshallah ta'ala, in the rest of the life, you can have this taqwa very easily. When your basic needs, food, water, your internal desire is asking you to something from you, and you can stop that with your taqwa by fasting. That's why Allah is saying that this is going to be easy for you once you witness the month of Ramadan and once you do the fasting as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Rasulullah told us to fast. And even if you think, brother, when Musa alayhi salam went to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all the prophet, the best moment of their life when they became a prophet or a Rasul. When Allah talked to them or Allah sent revelation through Jibreel. That is the best time of any of the Rasul. And most of the story of the Rasul, Allah told them to fasting at that time. Even from Rasulullah, he didn't know that he's going to be a prophet, right? What he used to do? He used to leave everything away, like all the dunya works away. He used to go to the cave of Hira and stay there, make some, zikr of Allah. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just out from the world. And he never used to have, food or drink. Maybe at the end of the day, Khadija radhiyallahu anha used to take some food, as we all know the story. So as if fasting is such a thing, even for Musa alayhi salam, as I mentioned, Allah told Musa, before you come to meet me in the Tur, make sure you are fasting. And that's what he did. So as if the fasting is the time, is the tool when you get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the last thing Allah said, وَتُكْمِلُوا إِدَّةَ, meaning you complete this training. So you cannot miss it. If you miss it, you must have to make it up and you complete this whole month. And then Allah said, وَتُكَبِّرَ اللَّهُ عَلَى مَا حَدَكُمْ. And then Allah saying, now the training is finished, then you glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And isn't that what we do? What do we do in the morning of the Eid? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, lillahi alhamd. That's what he said. And exactly Allah say, what to kabbiru. So once the training is finished, you glorify the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And not only that, during the whole month of Ramadan, everything for you was asgar. Your thirst was asgar. Asgar means small. Your hunger is small. Allah was bigger. Everything you're doing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your desire, your hunger, your thirst, you're pressing it down. That these are all asgar, Allah is akbar. And that's what Allah is saying, when the day is come, the celebration day, the graduation day of your training, the day of the Eid, you say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, I glorify you. And so that, why do you glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The last thing is that, وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that you could be grateful. So what is the point of grateful? After a hard training of a month, you attain taqwa. And this guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a blessing for you. And not only that, Ramadan has so much blessing. You do one good deed, you get almost 10 or even more than 10 rewards. And also in this month, Allah gave on top of everything, the Quran is a blessing, guidance is a blessing, your good deeds is a blessing, your ibadah is a blessing. After all this thing, in the same month, Allah put another cherry on the top, as I say, the Laylatul Qadr. It's not in any other month, this month. And that is the best of best. If you get this night, and if you pray in this night, as you all know, this is thousands times better than anything, and that will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive all sin. So inshallah ta'ala we'll stop it here in ayah number 185. Next week inshallah ta'ala we have two more ayah, 186 and 187. Allah talks here about what we should do in the month of Ramadan during the day. And then the next two ayah Allah talks about when we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during this month, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reply to us, and what should we do during the night of Ramadan. May Allah give us tawfiq to understand this. Jazakallahu khairan. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.